This is Larry Hernandez, and this is one of the weekly huddles. Now, let me see if anyone is joined. If not, I will continue to do some work. Number one, I hope everyone can hear me. The last few sessions, I have had some sound issues, but that's okay. I really want to share some really cool things with you. Not completely finished here. I think I can show this to you. And once again, eventually, once we get larger groups, this was intended to be an area where, or a space where you can ask questions on anything, AI recruiter related, products, coaching, mostly for existing students or people that are on the fence. And I don't promote it probably as much as I should. I'm trying to get the foundation ready here. Let's see, this is an entire screen. Let's share a window. All right. So this is what I'm so close to finishing. And for those of you, for the students who have taken the first course, I mean, being frank, I'm not a professional instructor. And then even the learning and internal or courses that I take, typically the courses that I buy, from college courses to, stuff on Udemy to other master classes. It's just about, number one, the connection the student has with the person teaching. We all have our different styles. I am not a professional teacher, although it is my passion and I'm trying to learn how to get better. A lot of this is hard to do when it's online because I can't get the feedback, right? And I'm not trying to just sell courses. I'm really trying to help people and teams and companies make this transformation from where you are to better. In this case, lately, it's been AI. As I'm getting clients, which, thank you, it's awesome to work with people who want to get better, whether you own your own agency, whether you're an owner of a small group, whether you're just a recruiter, not just a recruiter, I'm just a recruiter, whether you are a recruiter internally and you want to get better. This is my goal, is to connect. So I have been just trying to figure out how to balance sharing knowledge, especially technical knowledge, and making that connection, right? So instead of doing just an online course, what I'm doing is I'm making this a live workshop. It's going to be kind of a hybrid. In other words, if a team of 10 people buy the AI Masterclass workshop, you're going to get an onboarding form, which is really going to help me figure out where everybody is and where you want to go. If you're the owner or the manager, you can you're going to have an onboarding form that tells me, hey, we're investing in this class or this workshop to get my team from here to here, right? That way, you're the client and I can kind of adjust it, right? It's very hard to do a one size fits all. And what I'm learning with a couple of clients that I do have is that there are a lot of things that are non-AI related. Even though that's what everyone is kind of, hey, I want to get AI. What you'll hear from, like if you're on LinkedIn and a lot of the AI trade publications and blogs, is AI is not magic. It's really good at a few things, but if we have a problem, we've got to fix that problem. And that problem could be a misalignment of processes. There's so many things that can go wrong or that aren't set up right. It could be a new employee who doesn't have access to all the knowledge they need. It could be the processes are set up for when you, the owner, started the way you think, but it's not really working well. It's not getting to the right people and the right thing. It could be a systems issue. It could be a burnout issue. A lot of us are burnt out because the last few years have been just so tough on us. So anyway, So it's kind of like there's a lot of little things that which I love, by the way. This is the space I've always wanted to be in. I had some imposter syndrome thinking, I'm not that successful. I mean, who's going to listen to me? And it wasn't until first sourcing, I became very skilled at creating sourcing and solving sourcing problems, automation and campaigns and community, did some really cool stuff. And then when AI came in, that's my way in, because if you have everything set up, or let's just say you came to me with one problem, I want my team, or I want to be able to take a job description from a client, whether it's internal or external. I want to be able to turn that into a document that we can think of project management, that we can drive the entire process, right? Because this is a very tough world we live in. It's almost like real estate or marriage or matchmaking, because you've got two customers, right? Candidates, clients, and then you have all this internal stuff, right? So, but if we just said, Larry, I need a way for my existing recruiters, new recruiters, I need a way to quickly, a system to say, look, we're going to jump on a new call. Maybe it's a group or a client that we've worked on something that they trust us, but we've never worked on before. We're going to send the first person to Mars, and we need someone to engineer some of the spaceship work, right? This is just a crazy example. So that's fine. They're coming to you because you're the trusted partner in the process. And I've always said, although it hasn't picked up, whenever I was being interviewed, I remember being interviewed for Facebook. They were like, "Do you want to be on the mobile team?" I'm like, "Yes." "Do you want Android, native, or Apple?" I'm like, "It doesn't matter to me." Nope, wrong. They wanted you to be almost like an Olympian, an expert in this, um, and that's what the interview was going to be about. So if I picked, it was like choose your own path. If I picked, no, I just want to go Apple, the entire 4 stages of interviews and testing and all these things was going to be about how well I knew iOS and app building. And that's kind of cool. But I've always believed that if you can get someone who is, intelligent enough, right, and who is motivated and who is resourceful and who is aligned with what we're doing and cares and is nice and professional and ethical, I can learn anything. I have been thrown into, like you, to situations where I remember I had to do a paper manufacturing boiler engineer, and I got the position. So you need a process to get something new. It's still a requirement. Use AI to create some criteria that's going to manage the whole thing. And that is what this class can do. Right now, I'm trying to make this a little bit for everybody. That way it's more valuable. But really, if you're looking at this is kind of like, here's the workshop. You sign up. I'm going to break this out into 3 phases. Yes, we can customize this for your company, but this is just me logically thinking on what it is. Number one, the phase 1 isn't going to change for everybody. Okay, so if you look at this green folder or step 1, that has to be the same. I need you to understand a few things, right? We're going to have to shift your mindset. We're going to have to help you understand how to speak AI, because AI is not human. It's not from our planet. It does not. Not only is English not its first language, language isn't its first language, right? It's speaking in tokens and in math. So we've got a couple of translators in the way, and as you know, the more people you put in between you and the original message, it gets wonky. That's why a lot of people that I hear, recruiters, salespeople, owners, are like, I know it's cool, ChatGPT, but I need to get stuff done. And when I ask it something, or when I need to write an email, it's just not up to my standard. So AI must suck, right? Originally, I thought the same thing. And as I'm going through courses and as I'm using AI in my search firm, I'm like, oh, I didn't realize that, as you get real deep into it, I didn't realize that AI spoke. That's the way it interprets it. So we're going to have to teach you just some few things. And what I'm doing now in the last class, I try to teach you everything. Not everyone's a nerd like me, and if you're not in that right mindset, it's too much. It's overwhelming. So I'm just giving you the answers. I'm going to tell you this is why it happens. If we want to talk more about it, we can. We can geek out. This is how it talks. This is how you need to talk to it, right? We're in Mexico. They speak Spanish. Here's how you structure the words in Spanish, right? Awesome. Next, we're going to go to AI personalization. There's just some settings that you can go into ChatGPT. You've probably messed with some of them, but there are just some basic settings that we're going to. In fact, I'm sorry, I skipped ahead. That's setting up AI workspace. We can continue talking about it. But we're going to set up your workspace. There's some settings, memory. There's some settings in custom instructions, and there's some settings in projects and Canvas that are going to help you just run your operations, whatever it is. If you do sales and sourcing, whatever it is, we're going to set that up for you. I skipped to AI personalization is a course in itself. In fact, I've seen other people sell this for a lot of money to copywriters. But what we're going to do is, I'm going to briefly explain it like in a minute or two, but then we're going to get to work. There's 3 steps within AI personalization, but what we're going to do is have you talk and write, and we're going to use some of your old writing. It's real simple. It's actually kind of fun, and we're going to get some data from you that you've written or your company. If you're buying this and you want everyone to be on brand, and then I'm going to show you a prompt. I'm just going to give it to you, and I've created a couple of tools. Of course, it's going to turn whatever it is you give me, and then the output is going to be a little customized style guide. That way you can save it in your workspace. And when you want to write a social media post, if you want to reply to an email, if you want to write anything, it's going to be on brand, whether that's you or your company. So that's AI foundation. That is going to be eventually, once I get enough workshops under my belt and I really feel like I'm connected to what's happening in the market, these will be individual courses. You will be able to buy just phase 1. Right now, it's not ready. Right now, I need to take people through it to make sure everyone is getting it. When we're doing a live workshop, I can do that. When it's pre-recorded, I can't. That's why I'm doing the workshops. Let me just check in here to see if anyone is even here. Nope. Okay. Now we go to phase 2. This is just good practice for me to pitch this. I appreciate it. So now we go to phase 2, right, which is how to use AI or ChatGPT for kickoff calls and then sourcing. I don't know what you want me to call this. I call them intakes or new requirement intakes. They could be called kickoff calls, intake calls, new requirement calls. What it is, whether you're internal or external, whether you're new or experienced, you're going to have to take in a new requirement from a client. Or maybe you take over from somebody else, some old requirements. You're going to back somebody up on maternity leave and you need to jump in. I always think it's a good job to reboot. Or if you have an aged rec, back in the day, I heard a story of recruiters, staffing agencies, they would play poker with aged recs. Basically, what it is you swap my aged rec for your aged rec, and just having a new set of eyes and having a logical reason for you to tell your client, hey, this person's new. We need to go over step 1 again. So anyway, we're going to teach you how to use ChatGPT to prepare and have really good intake meetings that at the end of the process, you're going to have this criteria. It's going to be nice, organized. The client's going to sign off on it, and we're going to say, here is what we're looking for. If you're a one-person show, that's awesome. If you're a shop where sourcers are separated from recruiters, or you're going to get help, this is way more important. Every time I've worked with places that separate sourcing from recruiting, there is such a gap between reality and what your account manager knows. And then there is this gap between reality and what the sourcing knows. So we're going to get that tightened up. So as you can see, that's not really AI. I'm going to teach you how to do it with AI, but really that's a process change. Then we're gonna create one of my favorite things to do is we're gonna create a sourcing plan, a plan enough to show stakeholders that you know what you're doing. For those of you who know, sometimes you need to show a lot of stuff, and you just use some old PowerPoint. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to post jobs to niche job boards. We're going to do, oh my gosh, that doesn't work. So we're going to use AI to help you take those stage 4 into a nice reality, a sourcing plan, and it's going to give you the action items of expert search strings that you can plug into your ATS, LinkedIn, all your cool tools. And then we're actually going to, in stage 6, we're going to actually create really good outreach messages. Once again, I use the word outreach, cold emails. You found 25 people for your rec. Well, you gotta reach out to them. So whatever that is for you, that's what we're going to teach you how to do. It's probably the most requested thing I get. How do I make personalized, relevant, high converting email messages or LinkedIn messages, right? Most of you hopefully have tools now, whether it's Source Whale, Seek Out, blah, 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 that you can make these email sequences. If not, you need to, because all the studies show that we need at least 7 touches, 7 outgoing messages. Doesn't mean 7 in a row every day. It doesn't mean just spam. It means at least 7 thought out email campaign that's adding value, that's relevant. And guess what? No one taught me how to do this. Probably no one taught you how to do this unless you have a degree in content marketing. And I don't even know that if there is a degree on that. But unless you've really mastered, B2B content creation, you're not going to know this. We've kind of just, I've been doing this for 25 years. We're given enough autonomy as recruiters to be like, I know what I'm doing. I got it. Right. But really, we don't know. We don't know. So hopefully you at least know I could probably use some help with that. Are you using a proven method? Are you measuring it? Are you adjusting? Because guess what? Your boss, your manager, the person who taught you, they have their own stuff that they send you or the advice that we get, right? You've heard it before. I always make short messages and always use the first name in the message. Then you switch to a new boss or new company, like, we like to be thorough and long and we like to have links. It's like, dude, what do you want me to do, right? So not, you're going to get in number 6, I'm going to teach you through, there's 3 phases. That's not really AI related, but we're going to teach you how to use it with AI. If you have your own method, I can change it, because really I'm going to show you how to use ChatGPT, how to do this. But the basics are this: you need to identify your target audience persona. If you don't know what that is, that's okay. I didn't either. I've been digging deep into this, and we're going to teach you that the number one thing is this: you have a personality, right, that defines you, and your company has a personality, and your hiring managers have a personality, and you've got culture and all these things. They're probably not going to be the same as your candidate. So we need to identify those traits of a candidate, right? And guess what? If you would go to your career page or your ATS and you pull on all your jobs, all your job families, each one of those is a unique persona. So the message that worked for your manager when she worked for your company and she supported sales does not translate to technical positions. It can't, because they're 2 different worlds or 2 different people. And as a manager myself, when I've led teams, whenever I take on a team that maybe I have personally not worked on, I know that there is some, like, I don't really know what you're saying. I'm just going to take for granted that my highest producer knows what she's doing. And in reality, looking back, she just had a really, really good relationship, right? She wasn't really good at these things. So I was not setting up that pod for success. Well, we're going to kind of work through that, and we're going to give you a system that you can use. I'm going to pause here and get water. Hopefully this is making sense to you. Now, For phase three, the last phase, we've gone from speaking. I have a new mic here. I want to make sure you can hear me. Phase one, foundation. Everyone just needs this. If you just bought phase one, awesome. Phase two, now you learn how to take good requirements, have that drive a sourcing plan so you can go out and find the best people, and then how to message them to where you get a higher conversion. Because guess what? I've been brought in to help sourcing teams, kind of like a sourcing consultant. The majority of the time, it's not a sourcing problem. I learned this years ago. And I tell people that it's probably not a sourcing problem. It's probably a bad requirements problem, an unhealthy trust between client and talent acquisition. I mean, it goes on and on and on. So, but that's what we're going to get. Now we go to phase three. So now you're getting candidates replying. I'm interested. What are the next steps? So now we've got to find a way to you got to, as you think about the funnel, and I hear candidates, recruiters all the time, sourcers and recruiters. I'm overwhelmed. I can't get back to everybody. I've got thousands of people coming in. Okay. And hiring managers and your manager and marketing and all these other people say, good, we want a big funnel. Well, not really. It doesn't help. It slows down the process. It blocks the process. I don't want 999 people who I cannot help do or know what to do with, because now I gotta deal with them, right? And that becomes a bad candidate experience. So we're going to kind of teach you how to say, wait a minute, before we open the floodgates and post that job, let's make sure you can have some screening questions you can put in your ATS, so you can have your ATS handle a lot of that right up front, and your job description is going to be clear enough to say, don't apply if this is not you. Okay, so we're going to also show you a really cool thing that I've been doing lately since I've taken a retained search course. And I think I've always tried to do this, but didn't know how. How many of you does this resonate for? You have a manager, maybe she's a tough manager, maybe he's a tough manager. You submit some candidates and they say, why are you sending me this? You're all excited. You just got off the phone call. Oh my gosh, this is a great person. You get it all typed up, submit it. And it's like, yeah, why are you sending me this? Well, because that takes a while to write that email. I'm going to show you a system using ChatGPT where everybody you work with in every submittal, it's going to have a grade based on the criteria. And so when they ask you, actually, you're going to make a submittal that says this person is 99.99% on par with what we agreed on. And here's the proof. Awesome. If they don't move on that, that's on them. And now you can reboot the process. If they say, no, I don't like them, well, you have a problem, right? Because we go to step, let's say 4, and say, wait a minute, we agreed on this, right? This is what we agreed on. Well, that's changed. Okay, well then there's a change process. Restart the clock. Or if you're in a retained search, okay, well, this is on your dime. So we're going to have some levers to say, wait a minute, this is not on me, because we get beat up a lot. You don't know what you're talking about. You don't give me the right people. Well, this is exactly what we had agreed on. You use ChatGPT to have a scorecard that says, this is why I'm submitting it. You're going to use that criteria to create interview guides in step 8, so that when you're jumping on a video phone screen or a phone screen, and maybe you have never interviewed someone who builds rocket ships to go to the Mars, you're going to have enough information to at least get that candidate talking about themselves, and at least gather the information you need to give to your hiring manager so they can go to the next step. And then in 9, it's cut off in the text, but whether you're an agency or an internal, making that submittal, making that nice submittal, whether it's a MPC and you're trying to get new business, or internally you want to say, this is an amazing person, that can take a lot of time. Some people are really good at it, but a lot of us aren't. So you're going to use ChatGPT to kind of get that working. Boom. That's a lot, right? Now, this continues on to each step that I went through is a roadmap, right? It's really, really awesome. So this is going to help me have really successful, meaningful, valuable, on point workshops. And then you're going to get all these assets. So we know how everything connects, right? So I'm just touching up a couple of things, and this is going to be ready, but we're already enrolling people now. Right now, I say I'm focusing on teams, but if you're, if let me stop sharing here. Yeah, but I mean, if you're one person, you're ready to go, this is what you're going to get. So we're going to be running these workshops for a while, and then with all the feedback I get, you're going to get surveys, you're going to give me feedback, and then we're going to adjust it. So let's just say I ran 100 clients through this workshop. There's going to be a lot of lessons learned. We're recording all these calls. I've got the questions from the community, and then I feed that back into ChatGPT. And then once I'm happy, I can sell the course at a lower price point because I'm not going to have to do the work. But right now, I am doing everything live, right? So, yeah. There's no one on the call. It's 11:27. I'm going to shut it down and continue to work. I hope you have a great week. I'm excited about how this has really helped me and other people kind of just become their better selves. So if you have questions, I'm here. And if not, I will see you next week.